All right, here we are. We are back in the place and in the space. We have just gone live. What we have done is we have come from Ecamm Live, which we were streaming from before, directly to Facebook. We were streaming to Facebook, my personal page, my profile page, as well as to my TIWITIK page. We were streaming there directly from Ecamm, as well as to my TIWITIK YouTube channel. And now, as you can see right here, now we are streaming to those exact same places, those exact same sources, but this time directly through Restream. Not directly, but indirectly through Restream, which is kind of the point of Restream. So what I'm testing is to see, does the Facebook algorithm treat one differently than the other? So that's what we're trying to find out tonight. Hopefully we will be successful in coming to some semblance of a conclusion on that. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult, I think, to have conclusive information on that, but we'll see what happens. So I just spent about 15 minutes, 14 minutes and 30 seconds on the last stream. And again, that was through Ecamm Live. Tonight, we're checking to see what the results will be as this stream comes via Restream.io. Both of them very helpful tools in the streaming world. There was a time when people who had Ecamm had to use Restream in order to stream to multiple platforms simultaneously, or to simulcast. Then about a year and a half ago or so, maybe 2 years ago, Ecamm added that as a feature so that directly through Ecamm you could now stream to multiple platforms at the same time, or simulcast. It's a fairly or comparatively new feature for Ecamm compared to what Restream was. Restream, that was their niche. That's what they did. Now Restream has its own studio where technically you can go into Restream alone and just stream directly from the web page or the platform that Restream creates for you. So, but Ecamm is just a little bit more, not a little bit, it's a lot more robust feature-wise in terms of the things that you can do and can accomplish. And so I tend to prefer Ecamm streaming over Restream's streaming software. But for the longest time, and even now, obviously I still have Restream, because there are certain elements that keeping Restream has as a value, in terms of, if I'm streaming directly from Ecamm, which I was in the previous stream tonight, then when I stream from there, then my computer, all the resources from my computer are taken up. Hey, there's T-Mass. Tony, good to see you, Doc. All of the computer uses its hardware to push the stream. When you use Restream, then you're sending one stream to Restream, and then Restream uses its hardware to push it out to the various platforms. Your own computer is doing that through Ecamm, and so that takes up some computer resources that can have the potential to give you a little lag, to kick your fan on a lot louder than before, because your own system is working a little harder. So that's the major reason why I still prefer at this point to hold on to Restream, because I am using my Mac is still Intel Mac. It's not an M1 Mac. Well, the one I'm streaming on right now is an M1 Mac, but my laptop, which I have done most of my streaming with, is the Intel Mac. M1 Macs, I might be more inclined to stream directly from Ecamm and not be paying for the Restream service as well. So let's put Tony's stuff up on here. He's watching on the YouTube channel, TIWITIK. He says, so let me get rid of that bottom thing there. So Restream is an online distributor of content. That is correct. Restream, you are sending your content directly to Restream, and then Restream servers is taking that and distributing it to whatever sources you choose to send it to. With Ecamm, the software that I'm using now, the software that I was using, I am using the software now, but I was streaming from it before. Ecamm does all of that in-house. It just uses more local resources on your local computer. All right. I never figured I would be that guy who could be sitting on a stream all by myself and just talking to a camera. That's the scary part of doing streaming solo, is that you always worry, can you figure out enough to say to still keep an audience or be interesting? And that is what I will be attempting to do with this channel, TIWITIK. This is what I think I know. Got lots of stuff in the future, well, not in the future, but even in the past, that I'd like to get out, I'd like to say, I'd like to share, I'd like to get some feedback on. I am very curious as to how people are thinking about certain issues and topics, so there's lots of things that I'll be doing in this space going forward. I hope. Sometimes we say, yeah, I'm going to do it, and then 7 years later, I started my YouTube channel for the first time. I think, Tony, when I was in Tampa, is when I created a YouTube channel, and for like 4 or 5 years, I had one video. That was it, one video up on that channel. Probably was even longer than that, but so every now and then you got to figure out how to motivate yourself and how to be consistent. And so that's what I'm working on now. And for those of you that are in that mode as well, I invite you on the journey. Because that's always going to be the thing about being consistent, how you come up with content. Some of you have a niche already, that this is your hobby horse, this is the thing that you want to ride, and some of you it's a business. It's not just a hobby, it's a way to create an income stream. And so you have to be a little more intentional and consistent with that than those of us that think of it more as just a hobby and something that you like to do. But even for those of you that think it's a hobby and that just want to do it as a hobby, you will find from what I'm seeing and hearing from other content creators out there, that people get into this and they realize, hey, this is fun, they like it, and it does, or it can produce some income streams that makes them look at their primary job and say, yeah, bye. So they hop into this space. All right, T says, I'm going to need a better computer. I have an iPad. I have had one video now for 3 months. Hey, that's better than me, brother. That is better than me. I think it really technically was about 7 years between my first video and my second video. So you were well ahead of the game with me on that. One of the things I thought about was, in order to avoid that, was to sit down and make like a whole bunch of videos at one time, and then put them like on a schedule of when they were released. So when you're in the mood and when you've got the motivation and you're really amped to sit down and create some content, the idea of saying, okay, well, let me do a whole bunch of stuff all at once, and then I can chop it up in the edit thing, and then and push that out. So that can be a strategy for sustainability, at least for a while. But then you have to worry about, well, is my content going to be old by the time? Will it still be fresh by the time I put it out? So maybe I sit down and I shoot four segments. Am I sending those segments out once a week, for 4 days in a row, once a month? If you're doing months and you shoot it all at one time, your last segment is going to be 4 months old by the time it gets out. So it kind of depends on your content as to whether or not you want to do that. All right, I've been on now for 10 minutes. I've got about 3 minutes left, four minutes left to be able to compare and contrast these feeds. Again, if you are just catching this stream, I am testing the algorithm, and it's a very rudimentary test, but probably, again, I said it in the first stream, not a very scientific test, but to find out if Facebook if the Facebook algorithm treats a stream coming from Restream differently than it treats a live stream coming in from a place like Ecamm. What I did not do, which most sane people would do, was to Google that question and to see if anybody had already asked it, and if there were any answers. Guess what? I did not do that. I didn't do that. So I'll probably do that in hindsight, and maybe I will find that out. But let me go back, Tony. That iPad. So what computer do you have now? Are you on a PC? Are you on a Mac? What makes you think that you need a better computer? Because quite frankly, there's a lot of people who are streaming quite successfully simply using, a phone. I know I'm that guy who always wants a better computer and a better camera and a better whatever. But one of the things that I see is that a lot of people who are just gung-ho, they're more gung-ho about their content than they are about their tools, and that shows in what they put out. And it's not a bad thing. I think you do need to grow, and be, get your tools better. But in the end, it's not about the tools, it's about the content, and it's about the passion and the relevance of your content to your audience that really, hits or scratches where scratches where people are itching. That's generally the main thing, is keeping content the best. But be interesting to know what you are using, and what is it about the computer that you have that is limiting you? Is it limiting you to what you can do or what you want to do? So I've got an HP PC. Let's put this up here. I've got an HP PC and an iPad. I find my PC slows when making music videos. Okay, and are you live streaming the music videos, or are you just recording and editing music videos? Does that make a difference? I keep getting audio dropouts in Cakewalk, so that's like so just recording. Okay, Cakewalk, that's I know Cakewalk, that's kind of like your that's a shame. I used to know Logic for Apple users. It would be like your Logic or your DAW. Yeah. So for things like that, some software, they require specifications. Oftentimes, if you're getting dropouts like that, my guess would be it's probably more a RAM issue. Is making sure that you've got enough RAM to handle that. And I am no expert whatsoever in that, but that would be one of the first things I check. Is the processor that you're using on the computer, does it meet the specs that the program says is required? Usually they'll say you need a such and such processor or higher, and it will give you a minimum level of RAM. But almost every time they give you the minimum of RAM that you'd use, I almost always would recommend being above the minimum RAM requirement. Because over time, if you want to thing to last, your computer is going to stack up with files and all other kind of stuff, and memory is going to be a continuing concern generally. Yes, I need more RAM. It says problem, my iPad can't hook up to my Focusrite. The Focusrite. So is your iPad the interface? Is it USB-C or is it, what's the other one? USB-C or... That's a shame. I know this stuff. What's this one called? I'm just drawing a blank. I know you can't see it now because it's not focusing. Come on, thing. It's getting there, almost. Oh. That. There we go. Why don't I know what this is called anymore? The old school Apple interface versus the USB-C. This is a cable that has both of them on both ends. Why am I not remembering what that thing is called? That's messed up. Anyway, I feel like such a rookie. Okay, my time is up. 16 minutes. Yes, you have a small USB-C. Okay. Then there may, I don't know. I'd probably Google that too and see can you interface a iPad, a USB-C iPad with a Focusrite. Anyway, that's my time, you guys. I think I've given enough time to get this test in and see what we will arrive with. I appreciate, Tony, the interaction there. I hope that yeah, that works out, and I'm always going to steer people towards Macs because I am a Mac guy, but don't worry about all that. All right. Oh boy, I'm looking at this and seeing that I may not have put in the titling for tonight correctly for my Restream titling. So forgive me if my Restream titling doesn't make sense to you. I got to go take a look at it and see what it is. If it is off, I will change it. All right. Good night, everybody. Appreciate you all for stopping by. Peace. Oh, yeah. And I got a meeting. Blessings.